Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Vlogust. Today I thought I would break up the vlogs a little bit and sit down and do a little Q&A for you. Please ignore the state of my hair, it is like drizzling outside, it needs a wash, so that's the situation with my hair. But yeah, I thought I'd sit down. I asked on my Instagram the other day if anyone had any questions for me that you'd like me to answer, and I had a few, so I thought let's do it. So because it was the other day, I have screenshotted some of the questions on my phone here, so I'm just gonna keep having a look. They're not in any order. I haven't really pre-read them or anything, so I'm literally just gonna pick them and read them and answer them as we go. Before we get into it, if you have been enjoying my Vlogust, I would absolutely love to know. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below which one's been your favourite so far and what you would like to see for the rest of the month. Obviously I will continue to do daily vlogs here and there. I'm thinking maybe some morning routine, evening routine, decluttering type videos, things like that, but if there's anything else, please do let me know. The first question I can see here is any Disney plans? Right, so if you guys have watched me for a little while, or you might well have found my account that way, I know that's where a lot of my Instagram kind of following did come from, or kind of the Disney trips, and like, yeah, we had some good times back in the day. But if you are new, I did go to Disney World in 2020. We actually got married out in Florida at the same time, and I vlogged that trip. But I also went in 2022 to Walt Disney World, and we vlogged that as well. We went back with our little boy Buzz. In March we went to Disneyland Paris with our newest addition Otis, so all four of us went, and we had a great time. On all of those holidays we had a great time, but we really do love Disney holidays. But guys, why are they so expensive? They're so expensive, aren't they? So no, basically is your answer. We've not got anything booked and we've not got anything planned, but we have got something like in the back of our minds. I really want to do a trip with more of us, so some of my family, we really want to go back, and we were thinking early 2026, but some stuff kind of happened and I'm not too sure what the situation is going to be basically, and obviously Buzz will be starting school next September, so September 2025, and I don't know what the situation, you know, with holidays and all of that is, so we've not got anything definitely planned, but we are going to be going back as a bigger group. That's definitely in the plans once things have kind of settled down with my family a little bit, but yeah, we really wanted to go back, and I feel like, yeah, I just can't wait. I cannot wait. But no, nothing planned as of yet. Where to start when moving into a dated house that you want to improve on a budget? So we have moved into a dated house and we are taking our time. I think it's so easy to see people on Instagram and YouTube like smash out these renovations in a really short amount of time, and that is incredible. And if that's what you want to do, then amazing. If you've got the money to do that, if you've got the plans to do that, then absolutely go for it. We have always known that we wanted to live in this house and learn the house before we made any big changes. So when we first bought this house, we had plans that we thought we were going to extend to the side, like a double-story extension, like basically double the size of the house. But guys, do you know how expensive that is? I think we're just in the wrong economy right now to be doing that. It just wouldn't make financial sense for like the cost of the house and what it would cost and what it'd make the house worth and all of the kind of logistics and everything that would go with it. So we have decided that we do still want to extend. We just want to do a rear single story extension, more like an orangery type vibe, basically just to give us another living space. If you guys watched our house tour, which I'll try and pop on a little card here if you're new, our house is a 3-bedroom semi-detached house, but it is quite little. We've got the living room space, which is a small living room, and a small kitchen, and the family bathroom, which is also tiny for a family bathroom, downstairs, and then upstairs are the 3 bedrooms. That's it. There's no like bathroom upstairs, nothing. But we love it here so much. The road we live on is gorgeous. Like, I still pinch my, like, and the thing is that some people would look at this house and like not get it, like not get why I speak so fondly of it or why I love it so much. But where we lived before, we lived in a town called Orpington in like southeast London / Kent kind of border. It's expensive. It's zone 6, so it's not like super close to London, but it's a commuter town, and it just got more and more and more expensive. And we owned a 2-bedroom flat above a shop. It was like a masonette. Once you were in, I actually loved it. It was like a little house because it was a masonette. It had stairs. And yeah, it was exactly like a little house when you were inside, but it was above a shop. It wasn't the nicest of areas by any kind of means, and yeah, we just were ready to move on. But I just didn't think we were ever going to afford a house. Like, I just remember saying to Ollie, like we didn't have a driveway. There was parking, but you weren't always guaranteed a space. It was round the back of the shop, so like people would sometimes hang out there. It wouldn't be that nice. There were like a communal bin area that other people didn't respect and would like dump things there. There was just a lot that like wasn't favourable about that house, but I still loved it so much. It was like our first ever home that we owned together. I think of it really fondly, to be honest. But yeah, just to have a driveway and to have a garden and to not live around people that are literal drug dealers is really, really nice. And I just really value this home. We do want to do this extension. We are saving up towards it. I think we will probably take money out of the mortgage eventually. We have just remortgaged because our fixed rate was up, so we have literally, as of a few, like last week, you guys would have probably seen the call if you've been watching the vlogs, that like went through and is all good, for 2 years. So maybe in 2 years we'll look at that, but in the meantime, what our current plans are, this isn't even what you asked, but we plan to knock through a wall and to make the kitchen a nicer space, a bigger space, and just modernise it. But me and Ollie are really good because we do balance each other out. If Ollie had his way, he'd probably never do the big changes, and if I had my way, I would probably get us into debt doing the big changes. We do balance each other out. For example, the carpet in the living room is green and patterned, and I'm not a fan. I'm very eager for it to go. Ollie says, Shan, before we had Otis, Buzz, we knew, would be potty training, and he was like, and because we don't have a dining space, he eats his dinner in here, so like things do get on the carpet. It's a dark carpet, so you know, it's not stained or, you know, it's fine. And then now we've got Otis, who's going to be potty training, but I'm itching to get this carpet changed. I just think it just brings the room down. But where we want to do the kitchen renovations, I'm like, all of that dirt and dust and everything will be on the new carpet, so we might as well wait to do the carpet until that's done, because they will like be attached rooms. I don't know. For me, I think my biggest advice is just to take your time. Like, set yourself little goals or targets if there's things you definitely want to do, but don't rush into things because the pressure of like social media and thinking that's what everyone else does, because it's so easy to look at everyone else with their perfect homes and think, oh, I need that now. Like, but the reality is a lot of people are living in homes that they're working on as a gradual process, because if you've got a family, it's not always easy to do big old renovations. Financially, times are tough for a lot of people. Just take things at your own pace. And yeah, there are definitely a lot of hacks. Like for us, the bathroom was a space that I love a bath. I love to relax. It was a really dated space and I wanted to get that done ASAP. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it because I don't know, with our orangery type extension thing we're going to do, I don't know if the bathroom's going to move. I don't know what's going to happen. So we didn't want to fit a new bathroom suite. Like, it was a fine suite, it was just very dated. So we bought some tile paint. Yes, it's chipped in a couple of places. Yes, we can touch it up and it's absolutely fine for what it is. We wallpapered it, we changed the wallpaper, we took down a screen that made the space feel even more claustrophobic, and added a shower curtain, which I don't love shower curtains, but it suits the small space better. And we've ripped up the floor because it was carpet and put some cheap like lino type stuff down that's a herringbone pattern that looks nice, and overall the bathroom looks a million times better, and it really didn't cost us much at all. So you've got to weigh up like what you want to spend money on, what your long-term plans are. But yeah, that's my really waffly long response. Another question is, do you have a day-to-day routine for the kids, or do you just go with the flow? I have never been someone that's like put a strict routine on the kids. I have always just followed the kids' lead. Buzz definitely found his own flow and his own routine with naps and with everything, and he just, yeah, he was just, we just followed him. Like, he just made it clear when he was tired, and he never fought bedtimes. Even now, he sometimes might come down a couple of times, but he knows bedtime is bedtime, and he's usually pretty grateful for bedtime. He loves his sleep, and I know that we're really lucky for that. With having two, it's been tricky because I'm aware of like the wake windows and things that Otis should ideally be having for his age, and the nap times that he should be following for his age roughly. I like to have that in the back of my mind. I always just Google the Huckleberry like example sleep routine. I like to have that in my mind because it tells you what their wake window should be, but generally obviously it is just an example and every child is so different. Other things to do with the routine, we pretty much always like get up, have breakfast, we'll either get out to a park or a playgroup or whatever. Lunch is always at about a similar time, from kind of 11:30 to 12:30 kind of time. Dinner is always at about 5, and bedtime is always at 7. I obviously work 3 evenings a week now, so Ollie does bath and bed and stuff for those evenings. But yeah, that is pretty much that routine. It's just what works for us, and I'm very flexible to change the routine if I notice that the kids need a change. Like, I've recently realised that Otis goes to bed the same time as Buzz. They both go to bed at 7, but maybe Otis could be going to bed at 6:30, because I'm pretty sure when Buzz was younger, he was going to bed at 6:30. Yeah, I'm just very chilled with that kind of thing. I'm not someone that's like, oh, I've got to leave because the baby needs a nap or anything like that. But if it were affecting his nighttime sleep, then I would. I don't like obviously have any judgment to anyone that has to do that. You just do what you got to do to keep your kids and you happy and, you know, surviving. Said, what are you doing for work at the minute? Is Made of Stars still going? So yes, if you are new, Made of Stars is my small business. It used to be called Hamilton Crafts. When I had Otis, I had to shut it because if you are self-employed, you can get maternity allowance from the government. But if you are receiving maternity allowance, you cannot be working. You can work a certain amount of hours, which kind of a bit like your kit days if you're employed. So I did a couple of like openings, and like any work I did, I would like fit into the hours that it would be to like not be breaking the rules. But I just find it tricky because if you're self-employed, you're not allowed to work whilst you're getting maternity allowance. But if you are an employee of a business and getting maternity pay from them, you can still work as a self-employed person whilst you're receiving maternity pay from a business. That might not always be the case, but I definitely know a lot of my friends have done that and like it's been fine. So it's a bit of a pain in the bum, but yeah, I had to shut my business like temporarily, and I've not yet reopened it. I have reopened my eBay store, which a lot of people might not really know about, and I think, to be honest, the eBay store might still just be called Hamilton Crafts, and that is just for shoes. Wedding shoes is the only thing I think I've got listed on eBay, and that has been like the bread and butter of that business, I swear, for the last, I've made hundreds of pairs of wedding shoes. So I do still make those, but in terms of the Made of Stars like Etsy website, but in terms of the Made of Stars Etsy shop, I have not reopened yet, but I do plan to. It is not gone forever. I've still got all my stocks out there waiting, and I miss it. I do miss the creativity, and I do miss making things. And Otis will be starting nursery for a second morning as of September, so that will give me an extra 5 hours a week, and I hope to be able to use one of those mornings, one of the 2 mornings, to work on that business. I just find it tricky because if I could just work those 5 hours, you know, have orders ticking over during the week, and then that 5 hours make the orders, whatever, maybe design some new products, whatever, but What's tricky is the admin that goes with it. Like, there's always questions to answer, and people expect answers straight away now. And then if there's any courier issues and things, it can be hard to run a small business as like a mum, and especially now I've got another job as well, which I'll talk about in a moment. It's just hard because it is like a 24/7 thing, or at least you have to be available for it to be a 24/7 thing, if that makes sense. So it is tricky, but I think I do want to try it. And also around autumn time, Christmas time is always one of the best times of year for the business, so it makes sense to pick that up soon. So yes, definitely watch this space. I get imposter syndrome as well, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I get in my head about it. I think no one really cares about it. There's so much competition out there for the kind of stuff that I make. I've had to kind of adapt what I make and what I do. My prices I had to drop because people are constantly undercutting, because I feel like a lot of people start up this type of business and then charge really low prices because they're not like claiming it and not, you know, paying tax on it and stuff. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, in terms of my other job that I do, I work for a company that you probably all would have heard of. I don't really want to give it away. I don't really want to talk about the exact company or the job role, because I just think it's like something separate to this. But it's kind of like an admin type role, and it works so well around my kids. Like, I'm on a 1-year contract, and I really, really, really hope that it gets extended, because I really enjoy the work. It's a good break from like mum life, and at the end of the day, like, yeah, I'm sure as the darker evenings roll around, it might be harder to find the motivation, but at the moment, while the days are still quite long, I really find it easy to do the work in the evenings, and it means I can still be with the kids during the week. And yeah, it works so well for the family. I'm so grateful that I found that opportunity as soon as I did. As soon as I kind of decided I wanted to get a job, I pretty much found this one and got it, and I'm just so lucky, because yeah, I really enjoy it. And the company are really good to work for as well. They're really it's nice to work for a proper company, let's say. I've always worked for small businesses who might not have like the best kind of like HR type scenarios going on. So yeah, it's nice to be in a company where you feel like you're actually looked after. Another question is, how have you found things have changed relationship wise after having kids? That is a big question. That is a big question. I think it can be really testing having kids, and I think I probably bring on a lot of it myself. I am very right. So one of my friends is very, very passionate about her and her husband come before her and her kid. And when I first heard it, I was like, oh, that is like an extreme thing to say, but I do see where she's coming from. You and your partner were you and your partner before you were mum and dad. You loved each other for each other. It was you two against the world, and then these kiddos come along and priorities shift. And for me, like, my boys are my world. Like, and I think I get so, like, say we're out for dinner or something, I really struggle to give Ollie the attention that he should get. Like, I am all on the kids when actually they probably would be fine, like colouring or whatever. But like, I really devote myself to being mum, and that's something that I really am working on at the minute, is like being a present wife as well, because, you know, Ollie is the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, before the kids, I was so lucky to meet him when I did. Like, I owe him so much. He is such a good guy, and I love him so much. And it's easy to forget that almost when you're in the throes of parenting. And, you know, we've always been so on the same page with things, and we always were just so tight, and we just got on so well. And then kids come along, and I might not agree with the tone of voice that he says something to, you know, tells Buzz off in, or he might not agree that I've given Buzz squash when he thinks Buzz should drink water more often, or, you know, little things and sometimes big things, but they can cause disagreements. But generally we're on the same page, and I think at the end of the day, we both know that we love each other, and we want to bring our kids up together, and we want to grow old together. But it's definitely so important to make time for you two, and that is something that we've not been the best at, but we are working on. And yeah, I do feel very, very lucky. Ollie is a hands-on dad, and I hate saying that because I don't agree that you know, that whole thing of like, you never hear someone say a hands-on mum. Like he is like, he is a joint partner. I don't have to tell him or ask him to like clean or tidy or to do this or that. Like, we both live in this house, we both work. Yes, he works more hours than me, but yeah, he gets the time when the kids are in bed of an evening, and yeah, we both share all of the jobs basically. I mean, there's jobs I won't do. He like deals with the bins pretty much. He'll do like the DIY jobs, but then I do most of the cooking. But if I can't cook one night, he'll cook. Like, we work really well, and I'm really lucky that we do. But we've been together a long time. I met him when I was 16, and I'm now 30. So yeah, we've definitely grown up together, and we were literally talking about it last night, like how crazy it is, like how different life is, and how different we are now to when we first met. And just, yeah, I'm very, very lucky, and I definitely want to grow old with this fella. He's a good egg. Another question is, best ways you've found to keep Otis entertained, fave toys, etc. To be honest, he entertains himself a lot. Obviously he's got his big brother around, and he loves watching him play, and he's learning ways to play from him. The Love Every boxes that we really kind of get sent are firm favourites of his as well. They are great toys that he really likes. He loves singing and dancing, so we do a lot of that. He's a very like physical kid as well. Like, he loves climbing and walking and running. Like, he loves a soft play. He's only one, but he bloody loves a soft play. But he loves chatting. He loves reading. He's really like into a lot of things, to be honest. I'll try and have a think. Like, off the top of my head, it's hard to think of like anything that's particularly his favourite. But yeah, he likes anything that like plays music and musical instruments and things like that. But yeah, I'll have a think, and maybe I'll try and do a bit more of a video of the kids' favourite things. I will do like gift guides ideas as well, like near Christmas and things. I tend to do those kind of October, November time, which is probably a bit early for some people, but he also likes Miss Rachel, I'm not gonna lie. We have Miss Rachel on sometimes, and he loves her. Some of the questions were just people being so lovely, saying that you appreciate my videos and that you've followed me for a long time, or that you've just found me. Either way, there's a few answers that are just really, really sweet. So thank you so much for that. There's a few that I've not answered, but I'm gonna end the video here because I feel like I've spoken for a really, really long time. If you want me to do another Q&A, let me know. I'll happily do one. Just leave any questions below. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for asking questions. It's always that thing of like, you put yourself out there and think, oh, like you say, does anyone have any questions? And I just think, imagine if no one had any questions. That's just me. Overthinking as per usual. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. Let me know any questions you've got below, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye guys. Mwah.